Hello, my name is Doris, and I am Little Bird Products. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. And if you're new here, thank you for joining us. And I wanted to thank all of you who have made my 1,000 subscriber goal happen yesterday. I mean, it was last night at midnight. So that is wonderful. Now I'm aiming for 600 more hours of watch time. And that's my second step in my goals for this year. So watch, let it run, let it run out of the timer, and let's get those 600 hours of watch time. What I wanted to do today was just give you a midweek catch up. My one goal for the week, I have many goals, as you know. My one goal for the week is I had a subscriber ask about how do I widen and enlarge the top of sleeves. And I do have a method. I don't do that very often, but I do have a method of doing that. And that is my backlog for the week. That's one of the next things I'm going to be working on. What I have been doing so far this week is I'm using some more of my quilt scraps to upcycle this denim jacket. It's a beautiful jacket in its own right, but it's a little small. It is a Ralph Lauren jacket. It has a really nice leather tag on the back bottom, and normally I take that band off, but I left that on in this case because I want people, to see what it was in its former life. So I'm using some of my quilt scraps to widen the sides under the arm, and then also to embellish it, on the bottom front, the bottom back, and then I'm changing out the collar. It had kind of a masculine, well, I call it masculine, looks like that to me. It had a brown corduroy collar, and I took the top of that off because it was only the top that was corduroy, and I'm making that quilt scrap so there's more quilt. And one of the things that I am on the fence about right now is the back of it, putting another piece of quilt on there. I kind of like it because I like to have a little more quilt on it to enhance it. It looks fine without it, but I just thought it calls attention to that quilting. So it's going to probably take me a while. I get it to the point where I have to decide whether I'm going to put that on the back or not, just put it to the side. The other thing, I made a few notes. I'm also working on this week. I had that in my backlog on my ironing board, which is where I put all my backlog of things. I like it because it has the fleur-de-lis, the embellished fleur-de-lis on the front of the t-shirt, but the t-shirt was obviously, small, the graphic shirt. I like it because it has a V-neck, so that makes it very comfortable, and it's easy to upsize when it has a V-neck. And then I had this really beautiful flannel shirt that I really like the colors of. It's kind of a foresty green, a really pretty green, and it has, if you look really close, it has kind of some yellowy gold lines through it. It's a plaid, but it's kind of a muted plaid, and I think it pulls out the gold in the t-shirt pulls out that gold in the shirt, and I really like the way they work together. And my third thing that I'm working on this week, I mentioned before, is widening the sleeves. My technique for doing that, I have a light blue denim shirt and some cantha pieces that I'm going to use for that. My thoughts are to use the cantha or some complementary pieces down the sleeve where I widen it. And then I'm also, I think, going to use those pieces to use another technique where I inset just a line of fabric. I take and cut the shirt here all the way front and back, and then I inset a piece to widen the shirt to just make it a little more, that's how I upsize it. And it keeps pretty much the style of the original shirt. It just makes it a little wider so it's a little more comfortable to wear. And I might square off the bottom of that shirt, make it a little more jacket-like. We'll have to see when I get into it. It depends on how long this shirt is by itself. So I like doing that too. I'm hoping that's a fairly easy and quick upcycle because I have another jacket that I would like to upcycle this week too and upsize. It's really nice jacket. It's beautiful. I think I mentioned earlier in the week, it's beautiful in its own right, but it needs a little upsizing. And I like that. And I did finish this shirt this week, and it's one for me because it has birds on the sleeves, and I love the birds. And it's very comfortable. And of course, I had to put one more thing in my closet this week. So we'll see how I do with all of these lofty goals. I'm trying to be a little more realistic with my goals and set my goals for what I think I can do. So I really appreciate you watching. And like I said, next goal, 600 watch hours. That's all it's going to take for me to make my next goal. And I usually average about 100 watch hours or so a week, and I'd like to have it not take 6 weeks to get to that goal. I'd like to have it take less than 3 weeks. So we'll see how we're doing. Maybe you can all go back and watch all my other videos and just let them run while you do your dishes and while you do your laundry so that I can get my watch hours in. Thank you very much for watching, and I certainly do appreciate it. Have a great week.